Generation 11 of the GoPro Hero line is here. A bunch of upgrades are in place, but are they all enough to justify the price bump? Let's inspect. Hey, welcome, good to meet you here. Michael is my name. What we do on the channel is to inspect fresh and cool tech. It's already been a few weeks with the GoPro Hero 11, and as usual in this video, based on personal experience, I'm going to talk about the hardware changes, the software enhancements, and the overall user experience and real-life performance. I have the chance to put it through some really serious testing, challenging environments, discovered some things the hard way, therefore tons of footage, some tips and tricks, and our usual flavor of thorough inspection. GoPro Hero 11 has been released in the same day when DJI Osmo Action 3 appeared, and a few weeks after the Insta360 ONE X3. Truth is that this has been probably the quietest reveal of a GoPro camera ever. This time we didn't even see a video by Casey Neistat, if that counts. Actions speak louder than words though, and what I've experienced in the past few weeks makes me think that the $450 asked price sounds about fair, but there's a catch. It comes with a GoPro subscription, which, by the way, is among the most awesome features of GoPro, and I have my concerns that this goodie may sooner or later be over, or at least not as tempting as it is right now. Unboxing felt exactly the same way as it did with the GoPro Hero 10. I really like the fact that GoPro are giving you a practical carrying case, and it also has some extra space for the most important accessories. Just for the record, I've purchased both DJI Osmo Action 3 and GoPro Hero 11 at the same time and day, and the delivery time for the Hero was within less than 24 hours, even at my remote region in Europe. As a comparison, the DJI delivery needed 6 days to reach my doorstep. Cost for shipping was about the same, so I guess it's safe to say that GoPro do a lot better job about quickly shipping their orders. We've already seen the marketing papers, now we're looking at the camera, really almost the same as Hero 10. The color of the battery is a little different though, but it's backward compatible with the batteries from the mentioned 10th generation. There's plenty that you can hear about the design, and my opinion is that this is the most optimal form factor, and the fact that DJI have gone back to this shape with their Osmo Action 3 just proves this statement. The so-called folding fingers are definitely a nice-to-have option, or at least they were until the already mentioned alternatives by DJI have presented their magnetic quick-release mechanism. In that regard, the GoPro feels a little outdated. But looking at the full spec pack, the whole picture starts to look a lot different. GoPro are using their homegrown GP2 chipset for a second consecutive generation. This time, they pack it with a brand new IMX677L image sensor by Sony. There's inbuilt GPS, a 1720 mAh battery, ability to record in 10-bit color mode, waterproof body, front and rear screen, bunch of connectivity options, and all of this weighs exactly 153 grams. Listening to this awesome sounding track makes me think of today's video sponsor. A big shout out to Epidemic Sound for supporting my work. It's a great service for online video creators to soundtrack their videos without getting copyright strikes or takedowns. You can go ahead and enjoy thousands of high-quality audio tracks. To start exploring this amazing service, you don't need to invest anything because there's a 1-month trial period and you can cancel at any point of time. If you sign for the personal plan, I think the enormous music and sound effects library plus the very user-friendly interface is the right combination for effortlessly discovering great music and monetizing your videos without concerns. If you work with clients, you might want to check the commercial plan because it gives you the opportunity to release videos with music by Epidemic Sound and clear the rights so that they don't get any copyright strikes. That's a really great deal, so hurry up, there are links in the video description area. Get a subscription to Epidemic Sound and you're going to get 1 month free trial, which you can cancel at any point of time. And now, let's go back to our GoPro inspection. On the outside, it looks almost identical to Hero 10, even the Hero 9, so the good news is that if you already have some accessories compatible with the last 2 generations, they should work fine with the Hero 11 as well, unless we talk about batteries, because we know that GoPro are very strict and promise that the camera only operates properly with their own proprietary batteries. But we know that some third-party solutions with some remarks can be working fine with GoPro Heroes as well. In terms of build quality, I think it's extremely good, just like with Hero 10. Probably you can notice some of the scratches I've already done here. Getting some protectors is a good idea, but probably if you go for some extreme sports, the best thing you can do is to go for the GoPro subscription, because in case you break the camera, you can get a replacement for a very small amount of money, which is going to definitely cost you less than doing an insurance and dealing with all the hassle around it. In terms of hardware improvements, besides the battery, we have a new image sensor. Well, technically, that's an enhancement of the image sensor used with the Hero 10. We have a new controller of the display and some other minor tweaks in terms of security, which probably are not going to be noticed by most end users. I think one of the big steps forward are the 10-bit video recording that this camera is capable of. I'm going to run some samples as part of this review, but I have my doubts that the YouTube compression is going to be too aggressive and maybe you wouldn't notice a difference. Therefore, if you want to download some short clips with 10-bit recordings, head over to the video description where I'm going to link some. And now, time to inspect some more footage. Hero 11 is delivering exceptional results, as you may expect. I mostly film in 4K, but the fact that you can count on 5.3K means that you have the flexibility in post-production about zooming in and still not losing any quality if you export your work in lower resolutions like 4K or 1080p. The usual kind of footage that I film looks as good as with Hero 10. GoPro continues to be the king of slow motion, with possibility to record in 4K, 120 frames per second, and 2.7K in 240. So what you're watching right now is slowed down 10 times. What the 11th generation helps a lot with is the horizon leveling, which now can be effective even if you tilt the camera by 90, even 180 degrees. So even if a rookie films you, the chances are that eventually the footage is gonna be leveled and probably usable. Needless to say that image stabilization is phenomenal. GoPro advertise now HyperSmooth 5, which as you can guess is even better and smoother. So it kind of makes gimbals redundant unless you want to follow the 180-degree rule. It's a setup that mostly professionals would use, a game with the shutter speed in frames per second, allowing you to achieve this so lovely looking motion blur. Thing is that if shutter speed is locked at 48, which has to be the case should you record in 24 frames per second, if you use this outdoors, the footage is gonna be overexposed due to the massive amount of light which will reach the sensor. This is where lens filters come handy. Remember when I said that Hero 9 and 10 share the same form factor as Hero 11? Well, another advantage is the compatibility with lens filters, which are a must-have if you want to achieve all of this. It might help with shooting stills and some other occasions. Since we're at the topic about practical ideas, if you own an Amazfit smartwatch from the past few months, it will likely support an app to be used as a GoPro remote controller, which is pretty nice because these watches are waterproof, so they can be great for diving and at the same time gonna help you to save some $80, which you can invest in some other accessories. Like this cage, which turns the Hero 11 into the ultimate vlogging setup, or some pretty cool magnetic cases, monopods or tripods, which can bring the illusion that you're flying a drone. Compared to the competition, GoPro shows a lot better dynamic range and sharpness, while we're still waiting for DJI to do something about the pretty soft image on the DJI Osmo Action 3. You can notice that next to Hero 11, it looks like an outdated product. It all feels similar with the Insta360's One RS series. Although hosting a half-inch image sensor, the RS fails to deliver 120 frames per second in 4K, let alone any other intensive frame rates or bigger resolutions. The Hero 11 feels now so complete. You can use it as a webcam, you can take advantage of a wired camera connection, supports high-efficiency video codec, has the advanced Pro Tune settings letting you control saturation, sharpness, ISO and many other settings, and of course, the display responsiveness and all the menus are easily accessible and customizable. Should you need to quickly edit footage, use the GoPro Quick app. Yes, part of its purpose is to configure and control your GoPro, the other half among the easiest editors you can ever think of. Adding music, color filters and some cool effects, they just take seconds, and on top, your footage is well protected on the cloud. Microphone quality. Do we really have to talk about this? Because I have nothing more to say about it, except for what all other reviewers are claiming, that The inbuilt microphone is remarkably good, which means that, well, if you don't care about the background noises or too strong wind, you don't need to pick yet another microphone with you because everything that you ever needed is inside the camera. Can I think of any drawbacks? Well, the fact that GoPro keep the prices for accessories relatively high, the lack of DJI Osmo Action 3-like QR mount, and the lack of notable low-light footage improvements, I think that sums it up. In the end, I think that all these upgrades are well in line with a slight price increase. Honestly, even without all of this, I was expecting to see higher price tag because of everything that happened in the past 2 years. Luckily, GoPro have not only added a whole lot of software tweaks, they managed to put in a revamped image sensor, which is now letting you do a lot more in low light scenarios, although this is still the condition which is not ideal when it comes to action cameras. If you do sports or want to have a reliable ultra-wide-angle action camera, that's probably the best choice you can think of now in 2022. Maybe that's gonna stay the same for the whole 2023. I would say yes, the king is back, it's better than ever, and very well justifies the slight price increase that we made with this action camera, because technically, yes, it does have competition, but the competition is not even on par with the performance of GoPro Hero 11. And that's it all about today's review. I really hope you've seen enough to be convinced with whatever I say. Of course, if you have some doubts or have other follow-up questions, comments are down below the video. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I hope it was fun, I hope you learned something new. I look forward to seeing you in our next video. So take some good care. See you soon.